Hey, what if you want to buy gaming and you don't have unlimited budget? That's a challenge. You probably have a list of vendors where you want to go after and put your money in and achieve your outcomes. You know, like if you pick between some of them, it might work, it might not, and you don't want to be that risky situation. So what I want to do today is map out the 3 core placements based on media strategy that we've outlined before, and how to select and compare these media against one another, and have some kind of a thought framework for yourself for next time when you think about a media selection. So let's map it out. I'm happy to draw it out for you, and let's dig deeper. So previously we discussed about high audience reach and low engagement bucket, high engagement bucket and low audience reach, and the sweet spot with the highest mass audience reach and mass very, very high consumer engagement. So why we are experts to talk about this? Because over the last 6 months we've launched over 50 brand campaigns and we over-exceeded their benchmarks. So I'm very, very excited to talk about this section over here. Let's dig deeper, right? Let's go. Okay, so let me remind about reach and engagement quadrants. So low reach, high reach. You want high reach, but you'll get low engagement. Here you'll have low reach with high engagement, and this is the ideal buckets and how you want to plan the media, right? Over here, here, and here. But effectively, you don't have unlimited budget. What if this is over here, but you need to select the media placements for yourselves? So how to do that? Let's look into that. So what we are looking at, right? We're looking at these quadrants over here. So let's have high reach, low engagement, the sweet spot bucket, the golden one over here. That's the middle over here. And smaller reach, higher engagement. I'll write it out so it's easier. How to think of from outcomes perspective, and cost perspective, and measurement perspective. So right. So let's look at outcomes, costs, and what some benchmarks. Let me add it over here. So what's the comparison over here? If we are buying high reach and low engagement, so what are those titles? Those will be probably casual games, reach as many people as possible. What the metrics are you looking at? You're looking at VCR, right? VCR is the core metric what the brands will look like. Number of impressions is what you will be buying. So on VCRs, we're thinking about 80 to probably 85%. VCR, maybe click-through rates will be significantly lower, maybe from 0.2 to maybe 0.5. That's the area and range. So what do we get in terms of costs, right? From cost perspective, it's the most efficient media buying per delivered impressions. So this is the best which you'll get over here. Lowest CPM. At the same time, you'll have the highest price per time spent with the consumer. Because consumers will spend as little time as possible, and total time spent will be definitely below somewhere in 10 to 15 second range. If you're doing video or rewarded video, even here, the time spent is significantly lower. And with that said, if you mix that with interstitials, you're thinking about 60 to 80% on viewability metrics. Probably 80% to 90% will be measurable impressions. So that's in this bucket. So these are like a ballpark of how to look at this media landscape over here. So now let's go into the lower reach and higher engagement. What do we have here? So here is the lowest amount of impressions. You will not be able to buy as much as here, significantly lower metrics over here. But you get much higher click-through rates, all right? That's the metric that you're going to focus on. because these will be probably niche placements or sponsorships or in-games, so, or communities or chats or groups or branded worlds, this is the metrics that you're going to look at. On the other hand, you will have very, very high consumer time spent with the brand. That's the bread and butter of this one. This is the gold where you want. If you want to drive engagement and time with the brand, maybe some mini games, maybe some branded interactions, that will drive this time significantly. So in terms of the costs, so CPM will be definitely highest. Of course, because you have the lowest reach, the highest engagement. So what are your priorities? CPM low here, or the engagement, the cost per engagement over here. At the same time, if we think about time, then time per consumer will be the lowest, or one of the lowest. Because of the custom solutions, this cost might be different. Because custom solutions, think of sponsored worlds like Fortnite games or Roblox games, that actually costs a lot of capital dollars to build it, and this might reduce the pros and cons over here because of the custom development. If you don't have custom development, then dollars spent per achieved time will be significantly higher. What are we actually looking for? Of course, it's a sponsored event, it's totally different, but if we think of media buying and media placements, then we're thinking about 30 seconds to 1 minute as average time spent with the consumer. Viewability metrics will be significantly higher, 90-95% range. And if we think of measurement, this will be a danger zone, because if measurability is important to you, then some of the titles do not support the standards or formats that are here. So now we're here in the sweet spot. So this has pros, this has pros, but like I believe this in the middle has the highest potential, and it's very difficult for you as a media buyer to pick ones. And this framework will allow you to look from reach and engagement perspective and identify where is this vendor, where is this media coming from, and how this compares on the outcome perspective or benchmark perspective for you as a brand. So what do we have here? So we have high impressions because we're buying same mass audiences, probably casual games, mix of casual games and selected placements. With that, these might be branded takeovers that allow to reach as many people as possible. With that, video completion rates are significantly higher, 90-95% range, probably something similar to higher engagement bucket with the lower reach. And click-through rates can be somewhere 2 to 3%. And of course, keep in mind, some tactical solutions can promise 20%, 15%, 10% click-through rates, but be aware of them. Maybe they're high engagement, but low media reach. So this is the average one, but there's some tactics, there's some outliers. That might be good, but you have to compare one against another. So on CPMs, so if this will be the cheapest one, this will be the second in terms of the CPM performance. Because over here, if you're buying the reach, you're definitely not buying engagement. And because of that, the quality of the audience is not the highest. Here, because of the quality, you get the quality audience, but it comes at the price. In this chart, we don't have a price, but I would say CPMs will be somewhat similar. Maybe 10 to 20% range on the CPMs, which will be very close and good indicators for you if you have a good deal or not. But at the same time, this will be the lowest cost per engagement, cost per time with the user. So this is the benefit. So time spent here will be significantly higher. Cost per one single user will be significantly higher. But what's the metrics? What are we getting here? This is where we're thinking 20 to 40 seconds engagements, if it's a rewarded video, if it's incentivized, if after video we put a branded interaction where consumers opt in and interact with the brand. Typically, these are very high viewability placements with very high measurability as well. So that's what we have outlined. So what do we look at, right? You don't have unlimited budget, and this maps out and helps you to identify and compare media one against another. Okay, you have compared media one against another, and now you're on a roll. Now you become an expert, and you can compare each based on the outcomes that you need to accomplish and the KPIs do you expect against the costs, right? So that's the effective outcome to you. In the beginning of the video, we talked about how to map it out. We did that. We looked at the outcomes, we looked at the cost and some benchmarks of just the highlights, and these are averages. Happy to share a little bit more. We have materials around benchmarks that you can use for your own needs. And if you want to learn more about this approach and our metrics and benchmarks, go to monetizer.com/blackbelt. This is where our top tier customers who have started at white belt and progressed and learned and executing these effective media strategies so that they're now achieving campaign objectives in gaming as promised. So now they're experts. Very excited to share about that. Why it's important for us at Monetizer. We believe gaming is the new media channel for every media buyer. And you have to be smart to use this media and be ahead of the curve, right? So that's our mission over here. So thanks so much for, I hope this was valuable. And if you want to learn more, check out what we do at Monetizer. Thanks so much. See ya.